Hey Instagram fam, welcome to another edition of Abby Talking to the Camera. And today we're going to be chatting about how there's no such thing as strength training for men and strength training for women. So this is something that you will see that we've been inundated with a lot if it's through magazines, like Muscle and Fitness or Self, or those kind of fitness related magazines, or it could be stuff that you're seeing marketed on social media as well, is this concept that there's types of exercises for women and types of exercises for men. I'm here to tell you and to warn you that that's total bullshit, and I really cannot stress that enough. Now, you have to think about everybody's perspective, right? Like if it's a magazine, they're trying to sell magazines. If it's some rando IG trainer, they're just trying to sell their program or whatever it is they've got going on. So you have to always consider like the marketing aspect of what people are kind of pushing at you. There's no such thing as exercises specific to women or exercises specific to men, because listen, men can feel like they're a different species. However, we're not, right? We're all humans. And obviously there are physiological differences between men and women, but when it comes to strength training, we're all going to be pressing, we're all going to be pulling movements, we're going to be deadlifting, we're going to be squatting, we're going to be doing single leg movements. There's no movement that is specific towards men or specific towards women. It's just not a thing, right? Because if you really think about it, like how would that be a thing? Women, you want to be tailoring your program to your experience level. You want to be tailoring your program to your past injuries, to your goals, obviously. Those are things that matter, but gender is not a factor in creating an exercise program. If you have anybody who's trying to sell you something and it is like upper body exercises for women, I've seen that all the time. It drives me nuts. It makes absolutely no sense. They're showing you tricep extensions. I'm like, okay, well, how is that any different than what anybody else would be doing, right? Is because it's usually playing into these myths, right? That like doing larger upper body compound movements like bench pressing or rowing is somehow native to men, and it simply isn't. Everybody should be doing upper body compound exercises along with their lower body compound exercises as well. Women can bench press, women can row heavy, women can also deadlift heavy and squat heavy. Like there's nothing that's native that your gender is going to restrict you in doing. So bear that in mind. If you ever see that advertised, and again, I always think about those magazines, when you like go, I don't know, I haven't bought a magazine in so long, but even if it's like Cosmo or something like that, magazines targeted towards women, pay attention to the buzzwords that they use. Like, in a men's magazine, it's like bulking, getting ripped, getting shredded, getting, big and strong. And women, it's like getting toned, getting lean, getting smaller in some way, right? Because as women, we're trained to think that we need to make ourselves smaller and we need to take up less space. And that's the patriarchy talking, and don't listen to it. So whenever you're going out there, and this is really targeted more towards my beginners out there, if you've been training for a while, you probably have a pretty good feel for kind of what your goals are, what you want. But if you are starting an exercise program, it must include upper body exercises. To my ladies out there, you gotta train upper body. And you will also train lower body. And that's how you develop overall strength. That's how you can build muscle and lose weight and achieve a toned kind of physique or look that you're looking for. So be careful of marketing, because they're always trying to get in your head. Bear in mind that there's no such thing as an exercise for women, and always go after well-rounded, comprehensive workout programs that have you doing a little bit of everything, especially if you're a beginner and you're kind of building up that foundation. The only exception I will make note of is if you are a female who is either in a prenatal or postpartum situation. Obviously, that's different. If you are carrying a pregnancy or you were just gave birth, there are going to be some considerations, some changes, obviously, because your body is going through so much during that time. There are going to be certain things you might want to avoid. There might be certain things you want to put more of a focus on. But again, that is the only situation in which training as a woman is going to look different than training as a man. I love to hear your thoughts on this. Me and Gabby recently chatted about this in one of our kind of morning coffee talk IG live chats. These are very common myths that are perpetuated in the fitness industry, and we're getting to that point where we need to stop believing it. You know, like, marketing is flashy. People are trying to lure you in and give you the idea that the only thing you need is toned abs and a big butt. And if any trainer out there is telling you that that's what's most important and they're marketing their program to you with that very specific thing in mind, I would caution you in proceeding with that exercise program, because it probably isn't very well thought out. So drop any comments below. I'm curious to know your thoughts on this, and stay strong, guys.